GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is sponsored by our store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, please remember to do that, because when you do, you provide gasoline to the engine known as Gear Radio Network, and that helps this podcast continue. It is the best way to shop for yourself, and is the best way to support this podcast. Now, on with the show. And happy Super Sunday to you, everybody, here listening to this podcast. Yes, it may be on the Talking Wrestling feed, but this indeed very much is the JC Money Show, the weekend edition, and I will explain that in just a minute. But first, the formalities. My name is John Cimino, a.k.a. The JC Money. Well, wait, I just messed that up. A.k.a. JC Money, at The JC Money on Twitter, and I am here with you to chat about just some things and kind of go over things. But again, formalities here. Shopgear.com, it is your friend. Of course, thank you very much for shopping if you already do. And if you don't, if I could smack you in the back of the head and tell you to do it, I would. But please do that. Please remember, shopgear.com, it is our short link. It redirects you to Amazon. It has our code embedded in it, and it just tells Amazon that we referred you, and Amazon kicks us a commission of the sales, and no extra charge to you. It helps us out. Please do that. Bookmark, save, share. Do it for your business. Do it for America, damn it. All right, so the JC Money Show, weekend edition. What is going to distinguish this from the original JC Money Show, which will be revamped in a couple of weeks with myself, my Football Talk Weekly co-host, Brandon Gorell, and on occasion, Mr. Perez, my manager in wrestling, one of my aces in real life. And that is a separate feed. But this here, there is still a very much a need, or I don't want to say a need because it makes it sound like what I'm doing is much bigger than it is. To me, podcasting is fun. I love doing it. I love producing it. I love putting it out there. I love listening to it. I love getting the feedback and all that stuff. But really, it's not like a need, like everybody has to have this, But there's been a want from the core JC Money fan base, the professional wrestling fans in this area, for me to continue to do shows based on wrestling or things like that. And I don't want to lie and say that I'm going to commit to doing that, because I'm not. But where the JC Money Show is going to, the original one, is going to adopt the Get Ready America style format, may or may not have interviews and things like that. This particular format here, the weekend edition, is going to be a completely separate feed, and will feature interviews with wrestlers and or friends that may not be wrestlers. It's more the individual podcast for me. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to try and see, and I look forward to it. But as far as this show is concerned, got a great one for you. I do have an interview from the IWF show, the last IWF show, the recent IWF Hall of Fame inductees, the Natural Born Blondes, Eric Everlast, Jason Atlas, and of course their manager, the one and only Mad Dog Bobby Rogers, will join me later on in the program here. We're going to talk some wrestling. We're going to talk their history, talk how it, about the whole stigma of being an IWF Hall of Famer, and perhaps just some stories and everything like that. It's going to be fun, and I do hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed having them on there. But, again, to give you a feedback, a little history on myself and the Blondes and Mad Dog. I broke into pro wrestling in 2000 on at New Millennium Wrestling, and before my first month, which was February of 2000, and happy Wrestleversary to me, 18 years, hooray. In January of 2000 was the very first NMW show, and I could go through and I could try and remember to the best of my ability who wrestled who and whatever and everything. But I do remember seeing Chip Stetson was the one that jumped out at me the most, that particular show. Eric Everlast, he wore, which was extremely in at the time. He wore these like pleather pants and this shirt and kind of had a test look to him, which was kind of funny. And then he ended up going like Billy Gunn towards the end of it, and he and I teamed up, and I was his kind of manager / tag team partner, and we were going to do some big things. We'll make references to that on the interview, but it would have been fun. And Everlast was one of the guys that was one of the first veterans to, I guess, I don't want to necessarily say take me under his wing, because that would make it seem as if I was Eric Everlast's protege or whatever. It didn't come overnight. I had to earn his respect, and I had to earn his friendship, and I did, and we've been friends ever since. So, and that's been cool. And Jason Atlas was another one that was there. He actually was the first New Millennium Wrestling champion who was crowned that show. And the big thing that I remember about Jason Atlas, came out, he had this almost kind of, I think he also had the pleather pants too, at least that first show. And then when he went heel later on, he switched to the tights and whatever. But I remember he had the long blonde hair, and he was, he was built. And I can just remember him stepping out there, and the fans, the girls that were around, were just like drooling and just fapping themselves over him. And it was kind of funny to see. And of course, Jason Atlas, very much in the same manner, had to earn his respect, had to earn his friendship, and he and I have been friends ever since. Met up at Red Wings games a couple of times and things like that. And now it was funny just kind of seeing and reminiscing with these guys at IWF. And the January IWF shows typically, perhaps because of the Hall of Fame thing, but have a Rochester legend vibe to it. You know what I mean? Last year, in 2017's January IWF show, was when I made my return to the ring, and I competed in the Royal Rumble that they had. And I was there, but there was like Frank the Tank Burlington was there, Art Bailey, Kid Justice was inducted into the Hall of Fame there, Big Cat was there, Hellcat was there, Falco was there, a lot of old timers were there then. And then when I came back in September and October and November, there wasn't as many there as there were in the January show. But then we come to the January show again, and I was backstage. I didn't compete. I was originally supposed to compete against Eric, but that's a different topic for a different episode. I was there, Everlast, Atlas, Mad Dog was there, Hellcat again was there, Falco, of course, was there. I think there were a few others that were there, too, that I hadn't seen in a while. And, of course, all of the old school fans that were there, Dion and Steve-O, and, they were all there. And, Dion, you're the man, because those pictures you gave me, and, in fact, gave everybody, those frame pictures were dope. So I have mine hanging up on my wall right now. So it was fun. It's always cool to see, catch up with some old friends, but also see the new crop of talent in this area that is extraordinarily talented. There is a really good crop coming out of Buffalo and Grapplers Anonymous and what Brandon Thurston and Shut Up Phone, what Brandon Thurston and Mikey Every Night and Pepper Parks, the crew over there, are doing as far as training is concerned and molding and sculpting. The future in this area, and I've said it before, is very, 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 very bright with regards to professional wrestling. And that is why I want to be more involved, whether it's physically in the ring or whether it's backstage, hanging out, giving advice, watching matches, recording podcasts, helping be an agent, whatever. Something like that. That's where my role is now. And I'm not going to lie and say I won't compete again, because obviously I will. It's just a matter of time. But in the same, I'm in no rush to do it, because I am thoroughly enjoying what I am seeing product-wise, and especially coming from the guys that are coming here from Buffalo. So, ESW, if you catch ESW, they do webcasts every now and then for their shows and, kind of like a match here and there or whatever. It's really, really good stuff. And I'm a fan of a lot of these guys, and it's cool to see. So wrestling in this area is back on the rise. I truly feel that. There are still some bumps in the road that I'll happily call out because I really don't give a shit. But there are still, for the overall product is improving greatly, and wrestling will be around in this area and in Western New York and will blossom for many, many years to come. I truly feel that. So if you get a chance to go out to an IWF show or an ESW show especially, get to them because you're going to see some talent there. Talent like Kevin Bennett, Anthony Gaines, Kevin Blackwood, the Buffalo Club, like those guys, they're extremely talented. I expect them to go far. Maybe if they don't make it to WWE, I expect them Impact, TNA. I expect big things out of this group of guys, and they have the drive and the mentality, I personally feel, to get there. So it's going to be fun to watch. And I'm going to try to get, and before they become really, really, really famous, I'm going to try to get them on these lowly podcasts that I do. So I can say, once they make it big, I could be like, hey, just like everybody else does when independent wrestlers that know each other or have come across each once or twice or whatever, and then one of them makes it big, it's like, oh man, we've been bros forever. I want to be able to do that with like these new kids. So and if you're listening, and if all the new crop is listening and they're laughing and rolling their eyes, yeah, I'm talking about you, and I'm going to do it, because when you guys are big, I'm going to be like, yes, I knew him when he was knee-high to a grasshopper, or whatever. I don't know. All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break here on the JC Money Show Weekend Edition, and when we come back, I will have the interview with the Natural Born Blondes and the one and only Mad Dog Bobby Rogers. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the JC Money Show on the Gear Radio Network.
IndyCard Media is your one-stop shop for quality designs at a quality price. They offer merchandising, company branding, event posters, custom clothing designs, and so much more. Check out their gallery of past designs by visiting facebook.com/IndyCard Media and tell them what you think. That's IndyCard Media, 337-446-4331 or IndyCardMafia@gmail.com. Tell them that we sent you. Again, 337-446-4331. IndyCard Media. Bring your designs to life.
Welcome back to the JC Money Show, sponsored by ShopGear.com. And now, once again, here's John.
All right, I am here, ladies and gentlemen, with the recent IWF Hall of Famers, the Natural Born Blondes, Eric Everlast, Jason Atlas, and their manager, the Mad Dog, Bobby Rogers. It's incredible. Welcome everybody to the JC Money Show. Mad Dog, I'm going to start with you. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right, I'm going to pass the microphone around. I'm just going to kind of rotate it around. Everybody say hello. You already said hello, so fuck you, Mad Dog.
What's up, wrestling fans?
That was Jason Atlas.
Hey, fans, this is Eric Everlast. Thank you.
That's Eric Everlast. I'm trying to kind of coordinate it, whatever. Anyways, I feel like Bender right now because you remember when Bender had wrestling fans. But when Bender had his first season of Rush Division or whatever, he had like one microphone. He's passing it between me and Handsome Randy, and I would be like in the mid sentence, and he would just kind of. And it was just really weird. So now I get to do that. But
there's never been a bigger oxymoron than Handsome Randy.
Handsome Randy, you're a prick, and I love you. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get into it for the newer fans in here. Mad Dog, I'll start with you because you are the original manager of Champions. I always promote Mr. Perez as the manager of Champions because he's been my manager. But you were around before him, so tell the listening audience how you got your start into the business and what kind of got you involved.
God, you said 10 minutes. You asked me that question. I started with the Pro Wrestling Talk Show, obviously, the Pain Clinic. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to hook up with, I believe the first, company was ICW in the area. You know, Ironheart, Todd Costner.
That was before my time.
Yeah, well, and then it went into New Millennium Wrestling.
That was my time.
There you go. And I've been with every major company in the Rochester area. So
fantastic. Atlas, you have, I gotta say, man, I first went to the first NMW show. I said NEW. NMW show. I went to the first NMW show, and you were promoted as the first champion. You had these long blonde, golden locks, and you kind of had a Triple H look to you, but you had long pleather pants because that was in at the time, and that was you kind of looked like Test and whatever. And now I'm sitting here, and you've got an old man fedora on. You got not even a fedora, but you're graying, man. But he does look good. I love this guy. Atlas, tell the listening audience your story, how you got involved, when you got involved, and all that stuff.
Sure. Back in late 1994, I visited a place called Body Slammers Wrestling Gym, which is located in Lima, Ohio, probably about 7 hours away from here. I checked it out, and it was the place I wanted to go. So I saved up my money, and the following summer, I trained for 2 months straight for 6 hours a day, 5 to 6 times a week. And then after that, I made my debut match in September of 1995.
All right. And Eric Everlast, my tag team partner that never was. I mean, listen, for those that are listening right now, we had an NMW angle that was potentially going to be very hot. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or toot your horn, but it was good. It was good. I was kind of the vocal piece. You were the big muscle guy. And we were going to do some good things. And then, of course, NMW closed, so that fucked everything up. But, we've been buddies and everything. Tell the listening audience, I'm surprised I haven't had you on in the 4 years that I've had Gear Network going on it, but tell the listening audience your story, how you got involved, who trained you, and everything like that. I know you told the listening audience, the audience out there, but this is a, dare say, larger audience. Go ahead and, as a shoot brother, tell. Shut up, Mad Dog. Tell everybody your story.
Let's see. I would say I started looking for pro wrestling back in 1992. Tried to contact Killer Kowalski after I heard him on a wrestling, on actually a radio show. They're having an advertisement. They're looking for wrestlers. So what the hell? I'll go up to Boston. I'll talk to him, trying to find the school.
And you were Rochester based, correct?
Actually, at the time, so this is back mid 90s. I was actually from Rochester, but I lived in Albany at the time. So went to Boston, walked around for about an hour, could not find the school. So I went back to Albany with my ex-wife at the time. We just said, I was pissed. I couldn't find the school. This is all I wanted to do. So I just moved on. From there, I actually started judo. And from there, I got my black belt, and I competed on a national level. And one day, they actually had the school, which is World of Hurt Wrestling, where they first started off. And they had a wrestling school there, and they had, at that same time, there was a judo tournament going on. So I'm like, what's going on there? And from there, I started World of Hurt, and then I wanted to proceed on to learning, and I actually found Killer Kowalski School back in 1998. And actually, when I started, I looked it up. It was actually 20 years ago today when I actually started wrestling.
So, for those newer fans right now, they know Killer Kowalski is WWE Hall of Famer, guy who trained Triple H and everything like that. Take us through what a Killer Kowalski school session was like.
Fucking hell.
Explain.
Well, let's see. I would probably put it next to boot camp.
Hold on. Take the mic because I'm lazy.
You are lazy. That's why we didn't have a tag team, okay? And, by the way, you still owe me a cheeseburger plate, or actually garbage plate. You owe me one of those.
I owe you a garbage plate, but blame Adam Nowak for the demise of NMW.
Yeah, we blame him.
Fucking asshole.
We blame a lot for him. And that other promotion that he ran that he killed in that short ring. What was the question?
I think it was take us through Killer Kowalski's training.
Oh yeah. Basically, I compare it to boot camp. I was never in the military, but you did a lot of drills over and over and over. And then when you thought you're done, you're doing it over. And if anybody remembers the stories or knew about Killer Kowalski's school, a lot of fans probably won't know where Boston is or anything like that. But not to remind you, but the old buildings that are up there, and you actually had to go up three flights of stairs straight. So with maybe two landings. So if anybody talks about going up those stairs, it's pretty steep, it's pretty high, and we had to do those at least a dozen times just as a warm-up exercise.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And I assume that the knowledge that you acquired from Killer Kowalski, obviously, that's something that you took not only just being there at that time, but it is kind of it went through your entire career and really through your entire adult life.
Yep. Basically, what I learned there, I met so many great people that helped me advance to the next level, and within a short time period, actually get noticed by WWF or now WWE. And I'd just like to say Jason got noticed as well. He was backstage with me as an extra as well on more than one occasion. But I've met so many people there. Mike Hollow, who's actually one of the head trainers that was there, he was actually an extra with the World Wrestling Federation or WWE. Slick Wagner Brown, probably one of the guys, and he's actually still wrestling to this day. And there's so many more. What was the big Prince Albert? He was there. Never got the chance to meet Perry Saturn, but I just took all the knowledge, everything I had, and I try to bring that knowledge down with training others, passing off in wrestling matches, on the fly, and actually talking to them after the show, and actually training some people on the side as well.
All right, and Atlas, your story as well as far as training is concerned. Where did you train? Who trained you? And what did you take from that? And kind of, want to show the future generations.
Actually, I got lucky. I had met. Before I became a wrestler, I actually came in contact with a guy by the name of Rick Matrix, who had actually given me Al Snow's name, who ran Body Slammers at the time. So I contacted Al, made the proper accommodations, and I trained from like 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then back at another session from 6 to 9 at night. And then at the time, Al had to go away several times because he was being interviewed by WWE or WWF at the time to go work for them. But actually at that time, he was working for Smoky Mountain Wrestling, where he was a tag team with Unabomb, who's, as everybody knows, is Kane. So, and then, in his absence, D'Lo Brown was his assistant, who was also in Smoky Mountain at the time. He would train us as well, and just a lot of grueling sessions. It wasn't easy. Just learning how to bump was probably the worst thing. Just doing things over and over again, just so you got it straight. And I can remember not even touching the ropes until probably 2 weeks in. And after that, I'm sure I know everybody's experienced like the rope burns on their sides, and that is it is very sore. To say the least. But yeah, it's. But I was. I worked out a lot in the gym, so it kind of helped me out. I was able to, with my size, be able to take some of the pain away from the bumps. But it was definitely a grueling thing.
Okay, we're going to pause the interview right here briefly to keep in line with the JC Money Show and one of the themes of the regular JC Money Show, and that is Obscure Product of the Week. Although it's not going to be obscure, I just have a product right now that I'm going to advertise right now here. If you go to shopgear.com and you want to buy a innovative technology Victrola Vintage 3-speed Bluetooth suitcase turntable with speakers in multiple colors, available in multiple colors. It is $44.61, and it could be delivered with Amazon Prime. It's a 3-speed turntable. You get 33 and a third, 45 and 78 RPM, plays all of your vinyl records and your favorite albums. It has built-in Bluetooth to wirelessly play music from your Bluetooth-enabled devices with no cords needed. It's a portable suitcase design with an easy carry handle. Brandon Gorell has one of these, and it's actually pretty dope. A 3.5 millimeter aux in for playing music from any non-Bluetooth headphone device or Bluetooth device. An aux in, an RCA aux in, and a headphone jack, and built-in stereo speakers. No battery used. Power on/off, volume control knob, auto or manual stop selection switch. Again, shopgear.com if you want that or other vinyls. There's everything on there. If you want vinyl records, if you want digital copies, whatever. Anything that you can think of imaginable, you can get on Amazon. You can have it delivered to you in 2 days or less with Prime. And, of course, using shopgear.com, my short link redirects you to Amazon and tells them that we referred you and gives us a commission of your sales with no additional charge to you. It is the easiest, fastest way to not only help yourself, but to help us here at the Gear Radio Network. And for those of you that do currently do that and continue to do that, thank you very much. And if you would be so kind, if you have a business, your church, anything like that, any big places like that, shopgear.com. Use that link for all of your purchases. I thank you all immensely. And when we return, we'll have the second half of the interview with the Blondes. Stick around.
You're listening to the JC Money Show on the Gear Radio Network.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to this podcast. If you're looking to support this podcast and this network, visit shopgear.com. That's shopgere.com. It will take you right to amazon.com, to your Amazon account, and you can do all of your Amazon shopping. The difference is using our link versus going to Amazon's link is that you are telling Amazon that Gear Network referred you, and they end up giving us a small percentage of your purchase, which helps out this program and this network entirely. And of course, if Amazon's not your thing, it's understandable. On gearnetwork.com, G-E-R-E network.com, if you click on the top bar that says donate to Gear, there's several different PayPal buttons. You can donate to us as well if Amazon isn't your thing. Your support is vital to helping the Gear Network maintain this programming, this quality programming, and continuing our growth through the year. As always, thank you very much for your support and your listens and your downloads and your likes and your shares from all of us here at the Gear Radio Network.
I said, woo, don't make me break out the velour suit and the Stacy's.
I can tell you, my first experience, seeing all three of you guys was at the very first NMW show in January of 2000. I don't know the exact date, so I'm sure some jackass that's listening will probably be like, "Oh, it was January 15th or whatever." I don't know, but maybe.
It was on a Saturday.
It was on a Saturday at the Yuki Club. But I remember seeing all you guys there, and then literally like 2 weeks later was when I had my tryout, and it was you, Atlas, and Hellcat was there as well. And, it's funny when you mention hitting the ropes, because I hit the ropes in that tryout session, and I was 120 pounds, including pimples. At that point.
What? You wish.
Oh, shut up, Mad Dog. I have a feeling I'm going to say shut up, Mad Dog, at least 5,000-6,000 times this podcast.
Yeah, I thought we were married for a second out there.
Just don't let him drive, especially in a Cavalier.
Listen, that was the promo that never aired, so nobody knows about that except for us.
Didn't I break your seat that day, too?
I think you farted in it, but I don't know if you broke it. But
farted, I know that.
But I remember, as a matter of fact, you, Atlas, saying, when you hit the ropes, this is kind of how you want to go in, and it's going to hurt. And I remember, as skin and bones JC at that point hitting the ropes, I was like, Jesus Christ, he wasn't kidding. But of course, it was all part of the learning process. Obviously, you get used to it or whatever and everything. But Mad Dog, you were one of the ones that stuck out to me from that first show because you managed Mayhem that day. And that was the infamous match where the chain-smoking lady that owned the Yuki Club didn't really understand the concept of wrestling, or at least wrestling at that time, and like literally walked out in the middle of the match and threw that out. But what?
To be fair, okay. Mayhem was real green. I still was pretty green at the business. And the bookers at the show were like, all right, you're going against Rick Matrix. Just follow him, follow his lead.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. So they were like, just follow his lead, stay in the ring, just a straight-ahead match. And
incidentally, I love you, Matrix, but Jesus Christ.
So obviously, Matrix took Mayhem aside and goes, obviously, follow my lead. Next thing you know, we broke a table that did not belong to us. It belonged to the bar. We weren't supposed to use any gimmicks whatsoever. And which, after we broke the table, I could just hear everybody in the back going, "No!" And then they've got somewhere they found a 2x4 in the crowd and decided they were going to hit each other. Well, and that's when I think she was the bar manager, and she came out and said, bullshit on this. Just, cut the crap, and they basically, I don't even remember how we ended the match.
The match ended in a no contest is how it ended.
I think probably Hellcat or somebody was just going, ring the bell, get them out. And I think that was the first and last match Rick Matrix worked for NMW. I really do. I just think he's one of those wrestlers that when he gets a good match in his head, you know what I mean? He just runs with it. So.
I'd just like to add, he was there for the reboot. Same way. Came in, went out. Sorry, Rick.
The reboot from the Suplex U, I imagine you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's more like, I think, the rebirth of NEW or NMW. I don't know. All these promotions, I forget. All the IWF is all we actually matter that we got inducted in here. Yeah. NWA Upstate was actually when he came in and it went right back out.
Yeah, he, if I remember correctly, and I'm starting to come down off that pre-show buzz that I had, but if I remember correctly, he wrestled in the first show, and then he didn't come back until just maybe about 3 months before NMW expired, when Atlas became a two-time champion. And incidentally, Atlas, I was a proud recipient, I should say, of the Full Nelson Slam. And this podcast is going to obviously air after the show, but after this current show is going on. But I would assume, or I would at least hope, there is at least one more Full Nelson Slam left. Correct?
You have to stick around and watch for that. It might happen.
God damn it. This podcast is going to air after.
He's still kayfabing you.
Jesus Christ.
You'll find out in the tape that comes out in probably about 2 weeks, or you can actually check out IWF on my 18.
In 2 weeks, yeah, my ass. Well, anyways.
Plus 2. Maybe it's like 2 months. I don't know.
It's whenever the producer feels like posting the goddamn thing. But in any event, so real quick here, I don't know what's the time here.
I don't care. We're gonna go over time.
We're gonna go over time. I don't give a shit. I do whatever I want in this area.
And we're gonna pick what he wants to use anyway. So
I'll throw it all in there. I don't give a shit. I'm going to use the whole thing. I'm just going to cut out all the 7 million ums that Atlas had on there, but whatever. But which will take me an hour. So thank you for that, Atlas. But so let me ask you guys this. Maybe not so much for you, Atlas, because you're old. But I love you, man. I love you. Do either of you, any of the three of you, have that itch ever to return to the ring, especially with this crop of talent that's coming in now? Do any of you have that itch to return like I did and say, hey man, I still got this? Everlast, I'll start with you.
There's been times that I've got asked to come back, and personally, if I was to come back, would probably be it's got to be worth my time. Got to be worth my effort. Something, a storyline to build up. I just want my daughter to see me wrestle one time. She might probably get upset, and I've seen that with other wrestlers bringing their kids in. But, you know, that's why I'm up on YouTube, and she can see me up there. I don't know where else, but pretty much I think I'm done.
Actually, back when I first stepped away from full-time wrestling, I would still go to the shows and, you know, see all the boys there, and I still had that itch, and I definitely knew it wasn't the end yet. But eventually, I did return to the ring sporadically, but after a while, I just lost the drive, I guess, yeah, and probably not right now. I'm not in the, you know, Jason Atlas shape like I was when I first started, but I enjoy coming to the shows, though, and watching the younger guys perform, but which is very entertaining for me.
All right, fair enough. And Mad Dog, listen, you and I bullshit every now and then. You know it. You know it. You know you still got the itch to manage a champion, do you?
Here's the thing. I helped out for quite a while when Colin and Mark House and I came over from Hamlin there. And I helped a lot of the kids with their promos and, you know, talking about gimmicks and stuff like that. And that I enjoyed that. I don't know if there's anybody I like a lot of the guys here, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of young wrestlers up and coming that are great. I think that the pro wrestling manager isn't needed as much, and the ones that do need it, I don't necessarily want to manage.
Fair enough. I will disagree with the notion that the pro wrestling manager isn't needed. I truly feel that the pro wrestling manager is needed. Let's say Brock Lesnar, for example. Brock Lesnar, he doesn't need a manager, but him having Paul Heyman totally accentuates that beast character that he has. You know what I mean? He could still get it over by himself if he needed to, but having Paul Heyman there, I think does prime justice.
The last guy that I managed was Matrix, okay? And we all know when you hand Matrix a microphone, it's over because he will just pontificate for hours. So they put me with him to keep to the times and do what we're supposed to do. And it worked. He needed me. I needed somebody who could potentially go for a belt. And it worked out. We did not go for a belt, obviously. And I felt that it was time to step away. I think we had gone as far as we were going to go as a team. And there are other people that have brought me into NEW and some other places that had youngsters. I say youngsters, I'm old as shit. But younger guys.
Yes, you are.
Shut up. But they would have young guys that they're like, okay, microphone skills, not so much. But this kid has what it takes. I love that. I love taking somebody under my wing and doing something with them and having fun doing it. If for some reason something came up and somebody got in touch with me and said, hey, this kid here, what do you think? I'd come and check it out. But 18 years is a long time, brother.
Well, I know I'm hitting my 18-year wrestle anniversary in February, so let me ask you guys this, because I've been toying around with this idea for a very, very long time. If I personally were to run a show and I called the Blondes and Mad Dog and said, I need you motherfuckers at this show, y'all are coming, right?
Maybe.
How much?
You know I'm in, JC.
I appreciate you, Atlas. I'll give you $20 and a pound of weed, and Everlast. Wait, listen, we don't have the FCC for right now. We don't have the FCC, so for net neutrality right now, so we're good right now. But go ahead, Everlast. You're gonna yank the mic.
Sorry about that. Actually, add the weed for me because I got 3 girls, so definitely I need it.
We'll have an old fashioned. And by old fashioned, I mean brand new fashion. JC Money Clam Bake. But anyways, you guys, we jokes aside and everything. Thank you guys very much for joining us here on the JC Money Show. Any closing words? Everlast, I'll start with you and then pass the microphone around. Closing words for you guys.
Closing words. I just want to say thank you to IWF, the fans, my family, for being here. JC, thank you for being there. Sorry for not doing the shout out. Kind of went blonde there for a moment. Thank you. Just my one thing I want to get definitely, which I wanted to say out there and I didn't get in, and this goes to the younger fans, actually the younger talent. Be true to your word. Have integrity.
I also want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight and become a Hall of Famer actually for the second time now. But it is great to be here tonight, and I'm humbled to be recognized as one of the greats, I guess, in this area. So it's very humbling for me, but that's all I have to say. Thanks.
JC, thanks for having us on. Guys, thank you so much. I'm honored to have inducted you into the IWF Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
And it's all about respect, kids. Respect your elders, respect your bookers, respect everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who's on the roster, find out. We did. There wasn't a locker room we didn't go into that we didn't go around and say hello to everybody. So I would love to see that come back, I guess.
And I'm just going to say personally to the three of you, because the three of you were already involved before I got involved, and I've been involved for a long time. You guys have been involved longer. It's not an age joke or anything like that. It's just a fact. But for the three of you, I appreciate everything that you guys have done and have meant to this area. I've always been a big advocate of professional wrestling. I love professional wrestling, and I love good professional wrestling, and I love to see professional wrestling recognized, past, present, and the future, and just for everything that you guys have done. I truly, especially you, Eric, Everlast, for obviously the time that we had together that never was, quote unquote, or whatever, but the friendship that we've had throughout the years. Atlas, for the friendship we've maintained throughout the years through Facebook and at Red Wings games and everything, and Mad Dog for you handing me wonderful NES memorabilia and other things like that I may not find otherwise, but just in general for being you guys. Thank you very much for everything that you guys have done. Much deserved. Mad Dog, you deserve a Hall of Fame induction by yourself, and I'm going to be a big advocate for that as well. But thank you guys again, once again, for joining us here on the JC Money Show. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
That was the Natural Born Blondes, Jason Atlas and Eric Everlast, along with their manager, the Mad Dog, Bobby Rogers, whom himself should be in the Hall of Fame as well, but IWF seems to be focused on who made IWF contributions, and the Blondes did that themselves. Honorable mention, Steve Cruz. He was part of the Natural Born Blondes as well, and in fact, a funny story, the picture that IWF used to put over that the Blondes were going to be Hall of Fame inductees, it was a picture that had Steve Cruz in the middle, and whomever snagged it photoshopped Cruz out of there and put the IWF logo in the back. It was kind of savage, but kind of funny. So, but Steve Cruz, you're an honorable mention for the Blondes, and of course, when the POV reunite at some point in 2018, we'll make a Hall of Fame run, buddy. So that's going to do it for the JC Money Show Weekend Edition for this particular episode. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again to Jason Atlas, Eric Everlast, and Mad Dog Bobby Rogers for appearing on the show. Thanks to the IWF for allowing me to record the show there and record the interview there and future interviews as well. I want to invite you to tune into the next edition of the JC Money show, if I can talk here. I want to invite you to tune into the next edition of the JC Money Show Weekend Edition, because my special guests will be Thomas Brewington, and for the first time ever, and those of you that know me and know this area know that I've been very, very, very critical of this individual in the past, Mirage. Both Thomas Brewington and Mirage will be on the JC Money Show Weekend Edition next week. And yes, I do ask Mirage some hard-hitting questions, and truth be told, she answered it like a champ. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. You're going to have to tune in and find out. So with that being said, shopgear.com, of course, it is your friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody. Good night now.
Symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.